Welcome back, guys. It's Ray here with X-Tech Tactical again for another overview video. Today we're going to be covering the Springfield Echelon 4.0C COA edition, as well as the Gen 6 Glock19. All right, so let's get started with our basic safety checks. Per usual, making sure there's no ammunition in our chambers and our firearms are completely unloaded. And both of these firearms are completely clear. So we can go ahead and jump into some of the technical specs, take some measurements and things like that for you guys. All right, so let's check the weight on this guy here. Again, unloaded, no magazine inside the firearm. 1 pound, 9.2 ounces. Now, in addition to the COA optic that this actually comes with, we do have the Enforce Wild 1 featured on this. So that does add a little bit of weight just for your consideration. And adding on the unloaded magazine here, that brings us to 1 pound, 11.9 ounces. And with a fully loaded 15 round magazine, we get 2 pounds, 2.1 ounces, and adding 1 round on top for a fully loaded firearm takes us to 2 pounds, 2.5 ounces. Taking some measurements on the Echelon here, coming from the muzzle back to the end of the beaver tail, brings us right in about 7 1/8 inches. From the magazine to the top of the aim point optic here, right at 6 inches. And grabbing some measurements on the frame, checking that widest area there. Looks like we're coming in right at 1.141 on the thickness of that. And our Gen 6 Glock19 coming from the muzzle back to the beaver tail there. Looks like we're coming in approximately right around 7 1/4 inches. From the bottom of our magazine to the top of the Meprolite, that brings us right to about 6 1/8 inches. And checking for the approximate largest part of the palm swell in that frame there, that brings us to 1.2795 inches. All right, guys, let's jump into some trigger readings on the Echelon. We dropped the light off of that just so that we can get a easier angle as far as getting to that bladed safety tab. That's coming in right at 4.2 pounds. All right, let's do a quick safety check, verifying that there's no ammo in the chamber before we jump into the trigger reading on the Gen 6 19. That's coming in at 5.1 pounds. All right, guys, taking a quick look side by side between the two. Off the back, we do notice there are some similarities as well as various differences between the two, especially in texturing and things like that. The Glock is a more pronounced texture than we get on the Springfield Echelon here, but I will say, to credit to Springfield, they did a really good job with this kind of micro abrasive texturing of it being kind of slick to rub your hand across, but really hugs and sinks into your hand when you actually grip into the firearm, giving you a very confident purchase that doesn't feel like the gun is going to slip around a lot. The thumb ledge here, that texturing there, in my opinion, could have been a little more aggressive because of the fact that you're not really getting a lot of leverage on that kind of micro texturing. So it does tend to be a little slipperier than what you get on the Gen 6. So I'll give that credit to Glock on that one with the thumb ledge. They do have a better texturing, although the way the shape is on the Springfield Echelon, it kind of flares a little bit and gives you a very nice bulky area to be able to put your thumb or your index finger that you're indexing off of. Slide serrations, this one I really will say Springfield has to get the credit to. Glock did a good job with these taper serrations and they are very deep. By all means, you don't have any issue with running or manipulating the slide with those serrations there, but I mean, come on, Springfield just did overkill with their serrations on this and really made it super easy for you to be able to grab onto that slide and manipulate it, as well as having a nice scallop here on the rear of the slide that really acts almost like a little bit of a charging handle for you to grip onto as well. Beaver tails, definitely going to go to the Glock in my opinion. I like that it's a much thinner beaver tail. They cut really high up into that frame, whereas the Springfield has a little more meat there, so you can get your hand a lot higher up on the Glock on the Gen 6 platform than you can on the Echelon. So credit to Glock, they take it in that area. Overall hand feel between the two though, personally I find that the 4.0, the compact size of the Echelon, I'm not super fond of how thin this is in the hand for me personally. Again, I have larger hand sizes, so with that being said, I prefer the bulk that I get out of the Gen 6 instead, and that just really is comfortable as far as the feel and the molding that they did here on the actual grip on the frame. Undercut, I'm going to give that to Springfield. Glock really could have shaved this or rolled it slightly forward more, allowing for you have more clearance with your actual finger under there. It's pretty narrow and deep cut in, but Springfield did a great job of relieving that area so you don't end up with your knuckle riding right against that, as well as giving you the double undercut and texturing there in the trigger guard. So credit to them for that. Triggers themselves between the two, both have flat face triggers that are super nice, crisp breaks on them. But overall feel, honestly, for my preference, I think I might like the Echelon slightly more. So I'm going to give that nod to them there. The Echelon is also fully ambidextrous, so you don't need to worry about switching or flopping around your mag releases and things like that. You have slide releases as well as mag releases on both sides of the firearm here. And with the Gen 6 Glock, if you are a lefty, you do have to actually flip your mag release to the other side of the firearm, but you do have ambidextrous slide controls, so that is fair there. Again, I don't know too many situations where you're going to need the magazine release to be on both sides, but nonetheless, it is nice that Springfield offered that for any type of a weird one-off random occurrence that may occur in life. Optic mounting between the two, well, this being the Aimpoint COA edition, you are getting a proprietary footprint that is locking you into kind of the Aimpoint COA. Not really sure why you would be switching that out if you bought the COA on there anyway, but the Gen 6 Glocks come with a easily modifiable out of the box footprints for you to be able to adapt to with their different inserts that they offer. So you can configure this with a variety of optics, not the COA, but outside of the COA, your standard RMR, RMSCs, footprints like that, Delta Point Pros, you're good to go with your Gen 6 Glock. So the Echelon also does feature a modular chassis type of system for their fire control group. So that is nice and an upgrade that we thought we were going to see with Gen 6 Glocks that we ended up not seeing. So I will give that aspect to Springfield and a nod to them for offering that, allowing you to be able to easily change out this for metal PDW style chassis systems, different grip lengths or shorter grip length if you want to go with something more compact versus longer, things like that. So give them a nod for being able to do that and offering that versatility to us as the end user. Aftermarket support, Glock is still going to be king there. Although Echelon is starting to pick up on aftermarket support, it's really hard to match or compete with the support that's out there for Glocks, especially with the designs only having minor tweaks over the years. There's a whole host of things that are offered for this, and it's a very popular choice of firearm, so a lot of companies support Glock in all of their different models that they offer. So that wraps it up for us today, guys, going over the Springfield Echelon COA collab in their compact size, as well as the Gen 6 Glock19 here. Let us know which one of these two interests you, if one is your favorite. How do you feel about the Aimpoint COAs? Are you signing off on that? Does it interest you to have something that is considered a bomb-proof optic as well as mounting system on it that's proprietary? Or do you like the versatility and the flexibility of going with some of the standard footprints so you can upgrade and change out optics over time? Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time, guys.